Hey, thank you for watching this video. My name is Paul Hunefeld with aPauling Productions, and today I just wanted to sit down with one of our clients from Ouachita Baptist University. His name is Tyler Rosenthal, and he is the Assistant Director of Communications and Marketing. And Ouachita is a private Christian university located here in Arkansas. So Tyler, thanks so much for sitting down with me, letting me ask you some questions, just grill you about your experience with aPauling Productions.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking.
So, well, let's just jump right into it. If you would, I know I introduced you, but introduce yourself again and give just a brief explainer on exactly what you do.
Sure, yeah. Tyler Rosenthal, like you said, Assistant Director of Communications and Marketing here at Ouachita. And we have a full in-house team of communications and marketing staff. And so my Assistant Director side helps with all types of things in PR, marketing, communications. But specifically, I tend to work on a lot of the online, digital, multimedia types of things. We all kind of have shares in all of that. That's most of the world these days. But I do a lot of multimedia, whether that's hiring videographers, photographers, or art directing, or coming up with video strategies, or organizing, multimedia management. But then I also do a lot of social media, both organic management, but also paid campaigns, a lot of social or digital ad strategies and management. Work with some agencies that we use and do some in-house as well. Then I oversee some website management and do a lot of extra typical of marketing people, but we call them special projects, where it's just how to make our product or our service or organization continue to evolve. Maybe that's looking better or sounding better or just innovation. And so I do a kind of a lot of things, but one of my favorite for sure is video and getting to work with you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So you do have a fairly large team on just your marketing team. How many people are on that team?
Yeah, well, right now we have about eight or nine-ish positions that kind of span different topics and areas. Some are more specialty positions, whether that's a graphic designer or email marketer, writer, or web developer. But some of them are bigger picture. Maybe it's larger project management or kind of what I just described, or head of our office who really does a little bit of everything. But yeah, we are in-house team and have a lot of positions. But also, as many organizations know, it's in this industry, it's pretty hard to be able to do absolutely everything in-house, and that's where we love working with freelancers or agencies and be able to supplement what we already do in-house.
Yeah, so would you say that's kind of the primary reason why you don't have a full-time staffed video person?
Yeah, and it's been a topic at Ouachita, probably just like a lot of organizations. We know photo and video are super crucial to what we do, especially video. You know, I feel like people have been saying for years of video's the new thing. It's not new; it's been around for a long time, but there's been a increased focus for sure in recent days, especially in marketing. And so lots of times we've weighed: is this something that is a full-time role, or is it something that can be achieved freelanced or outsourced in any way? And there are lots of opinions on both sides, and we have been on both sides at different times. When we got down to it, the pros for working with somebody like you really outweighed some of the benefits of having somebody on staff all the time. And for us, a lot of those reasons were even startup costs of we would have to start from scratch on a lot of our equipment that we'd have. Working with somebody who's a built-out video production professional, there's all types of equipment and production knowledge and even resources or access to other types of equipment or production assets that we would never have. And so not only would that cost a lot of money for us to get those things in the beginning, but we would probably always be evolving, trying to get more, which is a whole other cost that we probably wouldn't be able to afford. And then even just having somebody on staff, while it's nice to have that person here every single day, and even in higher ed, a lot of institutions do have somebody on staff who's just getting stuff happening all the time that then you can use later. We have found the ability to have a relationship like this that's more of a retainer relationship, that is not just a project by project having to pitch for every video. And there's a lot even for us that many other organizations might identify with, that it's not always fully in our control. We have higher ups, even my boss has a higher up that we have to pitch to. And so that has changed the game, having a retainer relationship where, of course, we're always in communications with superiors, but being able to not have to look at every video project by project, having a whole pitch and proposal, it's just made everything so much easier. And so, with a full-time person, maybe that is also different. But we've also seen the ability to increase in projects in certain seasons and decrease in others. And I do know certain full-time video staff members that have that same increase in certain seasons and decrease, but sometimes that decreased season ends up that they are often bored or just don't have enough, or have to do some things that they maybe don't even want to do because to justify for the full time. That's not every position. Sometimes you are full-time and you are filming, shooting, editing every single day or something. But for us, we feel like this is where the sweet spot was. Now, you're right. I have some extensive training and experience in photo, and a lot of that crosses over into video. And the nature of my position lent itself to be able to manage freelancers, to do some art direction, and a lot of planning and coordinating. And that's also not everybody's skill sets. And so for us, me being the on-staff representative, I could handle a lot of the planning and pre-production on campus, things like that maybe others can't. But having somebody like you come in and aid in all of those areas when I need the help or can't do something, and maybe don't have as much experience in it, but then be able to come in and take the visions and ideas that we have and turn them into reality, and then be able to edit and work on them in your own time with constant communication with us back and forth. It has proved that we didn't necessarily need you in my office next door. You can be in a different city or wherever and have this great relationship.
Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe let's dive a little bit deeper into what you just talked about, because I know in any sort of contracting business, whether it be a videographer or your plumber, communication is usually the hardest and most frustrating thing. I know even for me, refinishing our house, it's like I can't ever get a hold of the plumber to come and work on our house. Or he says he's coming at this time, and 10 minutes before he calls and says he can't make it. With aPauling Productions, has communication been sufficient? Has it been pleasing? Has it been like up to standards? Has it been a hindrance?
Yeah, and I feel like that in itself is probably why many organizations are apprehensive about this kind of idea, of just like the idea of a person not physically being in this staff meeting or next door that I can walk over and tell them an idea or whatever. And we might have thought that originally, but no, it's proved that working with aPauling Productions, it's been very easy. And even on the personal side, yeah, I always know that it's welcomed and even encouraged to be in constant communication with you, whether that's email or text or phone call. And yeah, I think that is one of the benefits of also working with you, is that you are such a easygoing person where you are going to get things done, but you are flexible. You understand that just in this world, really in any world, but especially this world, trying to plan video shoots that are often dependent on other people or schedules, things are sometimes going to go awry, and that you have never gotten frustrated. You are very understanding, and that's also part of, I think, another great reason why a retainer relationship is so much different is we know you're going to be coming back probably another time, and we can pick that up at another point, or just have that ability to reschedule and have the flexibility working with you. And yeah, communication has been really easy, and I don't think should be a fear for somebody working with aPauling Productions. And I think you also are very adaptable and in trying to feel out what the client's vision is and their desires for the frequency of communication or style of communication. And we've tried, even in the few years of working with you, we've tried multiple methods of, does it work better if everything's over here or over here, or we can brainstorm, and we love brainstorming and talking together, and so what's the best way to compile all those ideas and have it be shared between us? And I think it's just been awesome to have somebody who's so flexible and being willing to come up with what the best solution is for multiple people working on the same thing and
Yeah.
keeping that communication open.
Yeah, and even from my perspective, having a long-term relationship for clientele it gives me a much better opportunity to learn what you like.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is the brand of your company? What's the brand of Ouachita?
Right.
To where then in pre-production, production, and post-production, just become so much more efficient because there are a lot of questions I don't have to ask. And then on the communication side, I know we make this joke a lot, but it's like there are periods where we are so busy that we're talking to each other definitely every day, and sometimes multiple times a day.
Right.
And so that has, for me, it's been an enjoyable experience to be able to have that kind of relationship. Apart from a one-time video can be effective, but there are just a lot more hurdles in the way and maybe a lot more friction through that path. And with a long-term relationship, there's still going to be a period where you have to learn each other, but it's definitely worth it.
And I think you hit it head on that many organizations, that's another fear of working with any type of freelancer or contracting anything, is the fear of they don't know us, they don't know our brand. Will they represent it correctly? Will they do what our vision is? We know how to talk about our organization. How is that going to translate? And is it just going to be too much work to try to explain it and critique it? And I think you're exactly right. And that's a huge benefit of the long-term relationship of not only is it worth the time to show you, teach you, train you, to show you what we've done in the past, how we tend to talk, how we tend to like visuals to look, things like that. But there's an ability for you to just pick up on things of just after video, if we're given a similar note, you start to learn, I guess they always like this type of thing. That's one of the hardest parts about many creative projects, but especially in video is it's art. It can be subjective, and that's the hardest part for you guys, is having to learn what others like, how they are going to respond. What we may like, maybe the opposite of what somebody else may like, but you know that, and you do that really well and learn what we tend to gravitate towards. And even if you have a specific preference, you are willing to learn what we like and want to do, what our vision and goal is.
Exactly. Yeah, I may have an idea what looks best, but what's most important is that you are happy with it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what Ouachita's video marketing strategy looked like before working with us at aPauling Productions, and maybe also what was the reasoning behind putting more effort and more time and resources into video marketing.
Yeah, well, like lots of organizations, we were already to a point where we knew video was important. We wanted to make a priority, but we had lots of limitations. Some of that was just financial. Some of it was, like we mentioned, it as a staff thing, a time thing. Leading up to this point, we only had occasional budget for typically larger videos that could last us a really long time and could speak to very broad, big picture things that we could use as much as possible. There's a time and place for that type of stuff that was very important. we were butting up against cultural things, marketing trends, just societal methods of communication that's prohibitive. We need to be able to be making videos more frequently at different scales. Sometimes they are large, big productions. Sometimes they're not. We need that ability. We also couldn't justify the cost of outsourcing every single individual video, but we also were weighing the pros and cons of outsourcing versus full-time. What really probably, like many organizations, was a big highlight on video was when we hit the pandemic, and everybody, as we know, shifted to having to do things virtually, and some of that was maybe just live things, Zoom or video calls, and of course education changed and teaching all video calls, but we had a lot of things that it was not going to be enough to translate just through a video call or a live type of video. We needed to take it to another level, sometimes a bigger, more creative production, sometimes just a simple but nice and clean method of communication through video that wasn't live or self-produced. And we hit that place, like many people, and that's when we first started our relationship with you, as we had some things that were recurring at Ouachita that we now had to translate weekly to video that couldn't be live. And that proved to not only be beneficial just to serve through the pandemic, but some of those things were just things we probably should have been doing anyway that, now we had that ability to. And there were probably even just social media reasons and increased engagement that came from it. Content that would just serve to be valuable to many different types of audience, not just the students that we were making it for. But we were able to repurpose that content in so many different ways, not only just social media, but in emails and on the website and all kinds of things that now we had content that was well produced that we could use. And we hadn't really had it in the same way before. And that really was a game changer for us. And on top of that, just increased need to send messages or communication or ideas to highlight certain areas or certain things through video, even as the pandemic, lightened up, we just knew this is something that we can't take a step backwards on, and so then we started that conversation again of is it outsourcing or is it a full timer, and that brought us all the way back to we've been working with you and it'd been so great. Maybe we thought of it as just this is the way we're going to get through the pandemic, but no, it proved to be a retainer relationship like this proved to be such a big game change for us in so many different ways. Like I said, you produce some of our biggest hour-long, high creative, high production things, but you also sometimes produce a 15-second really nice piece that we just need to send out, and it doesn't have to be the most creative thing. And it's been so nice having the ability to do that with you, and you be open and to all different types of scales and talented in all the different types of scales.
Yeah, so thank you, first off. So Ouachita is a nonprofit organization. So the quantifiable data from marketing strategy is a little bit different than your standard for-profit business. Can you give some examples of maybe some quantifiable information, either whether it's donations or enrollment of students or even just engagement online? Have you seen any sort of increase in those areas since starting the video marketing strategy?
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen increases in all of those areas, actually. And as you know, video is a subset of all of these marketing and public relations and communication strategies, but specifically in just some of these videos, we've been able to tie back increase in donations. It's a huge part of our recruitment strategy, and so we've continually seen new records being broken of donations, funding, and also recruitment enrollment numbers. And we know that as we evolve in our marketing and are always trying to reach more donors, high school students, even just our alumni connections, our current student connections, video has been such a crucial part in that. Our social media, yeah, the engagement has been night and day since starting to do more video. And not only culturally are people tend to be more interested in video and want to share videos and find certain videos more relatable than maybe a typical post. That has opened up a whole new world for us, but also in storytelling. It changes everything in our ability to storytell. We still have other methods of storytelling, but this can accentuate so much of what we're already doing that it's changed a lot of our strategies. Even just connecting to our alumni and wanting to tell their story. No goals that are financial or recruitment based, just trying to tell the story. We've seen night and day difference in being able to tell that now through video. And good marketing also uses good storytelling in so many ways. So there's so many probably unquantifiable results just from good storytelling and good brand awareness of Ouachita that then trickles into maybe a student down the road where maybe their mom saw this video from their friend being shared on Facebook, then they started to learn, where did this come from? And it's from this university, trickles down to maybe now it's affecting this choice to go tour Ouachita, and now they are maybe coming touring and now attending. There's so many factors that are probably unquantifiable that we will never even know.
Right.
But those that are quantifiable, we can tie back to aiding in marketing, aiding in recruitment, aiding in donations, and especially in brand awareness.
So, Tyler, from your experience working with myself and others at aPauling Productions, would you recommend us to other companies to have the same type of video production retainer work done?
Absolutely. And in fact, I have multiple times. People call all the time and saying, I saw this video, so good. How'd you do it? Who did it? And I'm constantly, saying, well, we have this great guy. He has a great production company. You just can't take him from me. So yes, you can use him, but you can't take him from me. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend you.
Thank you for that. So in closing, is there anything else that you think may be beneficial to add?
Yeah, I think that we've talked about so many benefits of working with you specifically, and just the idea of a retainer relationship. And a lot of those are practical or even creative or limitations. But one of the most, I think, misunderstood ideas about a retainer relationship is the cost savings that you actually are going to have when you're thinking about, a retainer relationship lasts so much longer. It's going to be more money because, I'm paying for this long duration. Instead, I could just not pay as much and just do one video, and that's it, and I don't have to pay again. Well, it turns out that you are more than likely going to need another video here and there, and you're going to pay this larger price for these individual videos than you are in a retainer relationship where you have a lower cost of individual videos because of the larger relationship. And I think it's one of those that, like, if money is that big of a concern, then you need to probably really look at, is it worth a bigger investment up front to get a much better relationship, a much better product? But in the end, it's probably not going to be a bigger investment. At front, it may look like it, but in the end, it's probably not.
Yeah, and so to give some specifics, with a retainer relationship that we do, there's a massive discount on the total price for the number of video deliverables that you receive, as opposed to getting each of those videos done individually. Part of that cost saving with a retainer relationship is we are planning multiple videos, and so the pre-production and actually the production days, we can cram a lot of stuff into one day, and just that is cost savings. If you're doing multiple videos separately, each of those videos has a separate shoot day, has a separate day for pre-production. And so really the economies of scale come into play perfectly with this. So Tyler, thank you so much for taking time today to talk to us.
It's been great. Thanks for asking me to play part.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or might be interested in how a video marketing strategy can help your business, I'm going to leave my contact information here at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to reach out, and I'd love to get a chance to talk with you. Thank you.